everyone, I'm Rita Peterson with Everything Homemade, and this is the 12th video in the series of how to garden. It is actually episode B. We are planting the garden and we are racing against the clock. Why? Because of the weather. Take a look at this. You see that storm cloud? It was sunny all day. The sky has totally changed and we're gonna get these peas in. You can see it. So gardening is very dynamic, and the last time you saw we planted in all the squash and the cucumbers, the pumpkins. Take a look. I've now put the tomato cages on. I've now put plastic just in case it's half open. If we get a complete storm here, I will run out and totally cover these plants. We have the plastic over the cucumbers over there. Weather depending, I'll put the plastic back over the zucchini, and I got plastic over the butternut squash. This is a really good example of how within a couple of hours the weather can totally change, and one day of a heavy storm when you newly transplant can kill everything you have so hard worked with. So this is how it looks. If you want to know how we planted all this in, just go to the video. Start with the first one in How to Garden Series 12A. So that is what you're looking for on how we did all the rest of the planting so far. So here we have Orion, and Orion has a buddy, Crackers. Crackers is the cat. Loves everyone's back. So if you got a back to rest on, that's exactly where he wants to be. Just as I filmed the sky, it broke out and began to rain. So I had to dash the camera into my husband's shop because I can't get it wet. So we kind of got stalled. So let's cross our fingers that we can get these peas in. So I'm going to explain what we're doing here. So I have Orion with me and Grace with me, and basically what we're doing is we made this row here. There's going to be 2 construction panels for the peas to climb up. They are 3 to 4 foot high peas. They are also an heirloom variety, and I've saved seed from 3 years ago from my previous garden, so I'm crossing my fingers they're going to germinate. So we are basically, this is garden dirt, and so we are basically going through the rows, and we're looking for dandelion roots that got cut up by the rototiller. Orion's finding little worms also that shouldn't be in the garden. So we're basically just kind of going through here, crushing up bigger boulders, getting dandelion roots out, any quackgrass roots, okay? Stuff like this that we don't want in our rows. You know, this here, you guys, you see this? That's a dandelion. There is one trick that my mom did in the garden, and this really applies to you when you're working with garden dirt. It is not as fluffy as potting soil is, and it's called hard packing. Hard packing is when the rain comes down, packs the dirt, and then the sun comes up and it creates this crust. And this crust seeds can't pop through. So the trick my mom used to do when I was small is we get our row as nice as possible. There's always going to be clumps. Then what we do is we're planting two rows in here. So we're going to take our shovel and we're going to use the end, and basically we're going to just kind of draw a magical kind kind of an indent where I want the first row to go. Basically at the end here, you guys. And then we're going to put in the seeds, and instead of covering with the dirt of the garden, we're going to use a bit of potting soil, and we're going to put potting soil on top. One, that helps to prevent the hard packing, and two, it allows the seeds to pop through much easier. So that's a trick. You're not going to use a lot of potting soil doing this, and we were going to be doing this technique on about 3 or 4 different seeds. And it's really an important step when you're dealing with garden dirt. Unless you got like super fluffy garden dirt, you're gonna run into this hard packing issue. So what I want you guys to do, there's 2 envelopes beside the pumpkins. Grace, you want to run and go get them?
Sure.
I had dropped them down there.
Mom, there's a few dry leaves. Bryce,
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is just go through here. I want to remove some of the clumps, and now, come on, don't rain on me, please. And I'm going to go through here. These are Sutton's Harbinger peas, 1898 British heirloom. That's what we're planting. So open them up, you guys. We're going to plant them all out. Okay. Yeah. You want peas to be about 1/2 inch in depth. Basically, you look at the size of your seed. If you got anything like pea seed, corn seed, you're looking at a depth of 1/2 inch. The bigger the seed, the more depth, but don't ever go more than 1 inch, no matter what. So we've got pea seeds right here. Basically, you guys, I don't got a ton, okay, but let's start with 1 inch apart. Okay. Okay. So you start on the row.
Yeah.
On the row, how much seeds you got in there? I think you got a little more in there.
Oh yeah, I got way more.
That's all the seeds I got. I'm going to plant 2 rows, so if you guys can plant back and forth, we're going to go 1 inch apart.
Come,
I do, okay?
Yeah, come over here, Grace, and I'll give you some. So peas are all in. Good job, Orion and Grace. We are going to basically every single morning, every afternoon, and every evening. If it is hot outside, the garden should be watered 3 times daily. Depending on what we're talking about. Peas, you cannot let them dry out. Another trick, if it's really, really hot that I've used, and you may have seen this on my previous videos, is put a board down. If you put a board down on top of this row, especially for the first 3 to 5 days, it'll really, really help with the stress of watering. So if you need to go to work and you can only check on it in the morning, and then when you come home, well, what happens if you're like 25 degrees Celsius, full sun, scorching sun? Put a board over it, but check it every single morning. If you check it every single day, then you'll catch them. As soon as they are, germinating, take the board off. But it will really, really help save your time. Now I am home all the time, so I can check on the garden, I can be here, but not everybody has that flexibility. Use the board technique. For right now, with the weather the way it is, we're not that hot. Peas also like to germinate when they're cold. So actually colder weather will help them germinate. So you got this opposing conditions with plants. You have your loving plants that love the warmth, and you got your cold loving plants that love the cold, that all need to be planted at the same time in the north. So you really are trying to balance the two out. So making plastic your best friend with the warm loving crops is an excellent idea. Using boards to shade your cold loving crops to germinate better instead of being heated up by the sun is a fantastic idea. So let's start planting in the corn. It's corn time. The sun just came out again. Man, I don't even think the weather knows what it's doing, because I sure don't know. I have Ocean again. We are just basically going back and forth with my children here. You know what? I can't be everywhere, and it's really, really critical that we do teamwork. Meadow is getting played with everyone. Even Orion and Nova made lunch while I was out planting with Meadow, my youngest. So there's a lot of teamwork, a lot of dynamics in getting this garden together. So corn, as you can see with the corn bed, we do have black plastic. Now this black plastic has been used already, and so we need to modify it a bit for the corn bed. What we're going to do is, we have 3 containers of corn here, and corn really should be about a foot apart. So what we're going to do is, Ocean's going to take a scissor and try to make as straight row as possible. But we're going to basically make a row from here straight down, and then there's a natural hole here. We're going to go from this hole to that hole, and from this hole. So we are, I would say, about 18 inches apart, and we're going to basically, we have 3 containers, so 1 container per row.
Here?
And that's what we're doing. Yeah, so start here. Start here.
There's a hole.
No, it's too close. So I want you to start right here. Just right here. And all I want you to do is take your scissor and go straight, because look at this. We can plant right in there.
Oh, so
Just, yeah, basically you're making a line, yeah. And you're going straight down. I'm going to do that 3 times. Do is, if we need more stones here, we'll modify this for a moment, but we want to keep this ground warm and less weedy. So what we're going to do is, we're going to basically make a trench. Okay, so we're going to take our shovels and we're going to trench here, and we're going to put in manure, because corn is a heavy feeder also. And we're just basically going to trench this and then drop down manure. We're also looking for dandelion roots, so keep your eyes open for that. We are basically making an area, when their roots get a little bigger, they can just suck the moisture, suck the nutrients right up. So what I want you to do, Ocean, is I want you to take Keep it going.
Gotta get around you.
All right. And then I'm going to, what I'm doing, yeah,
Is that good?
it's empty. Corn loves it. Manure in with the dirt. No, no, don't take that. Just mix it in the middle. So it gets really, really nice and almost like peat moss like, okay? So I'm just mixing in right in my row. Really nice bed. You see how that really changes the dirt? And this is how I hope the garden will be after years of adding nice manure, because we finally have nice dirt forming. So now we take a corn. This is the exciting moment you've been waiting for, Ocean. What you want to do is Ocean is going to make a square around one of the corns. Very gently, she's going to put her spoon directly to the bottom on either side and then pop out a corn plant. And a spoon works awesome for this. Just don't forget your spoons in the garden, otherwise you won't have any spoons for the house. You got it, Ocean?
Yeah, there's a lot of roots.
Yeah, corn has huge roots. Look at those roots. So now what we want to do is we need to have a hole. So on. Right here is good. So what we want to do is get a hole made for them, and you can just use your hands at this point. So Ocean, put that corn there. And the key thing is, actually let me show them for a second. The key thing is, you cannot bury your corn. It needs to only go up to here. In this case, it's very particular. It's like planting a tree. You don't want to plant over the base. When you take your corn, Ocean, you want to plant it in, but you want to make sure that you want it at this depth, but we cannot go over where it kind of threw out. Remember it threw out those roots?
Yep.
That's the height. That is where you want your corn. So we're going to plant it in,
One in.
just like so. So let's get one over here, and then we want a foot distance, okay? So I want one here, and then we'll keep going. So there you have it. The corn is in, the peas are in, all the zucchini and squash and pumpkin is all in, and I am, in all honesty, completely tuckered out. I need to go inside, I need to make supper. I'm still not even close to being done today. So that is it for the garden. We will be back here again tomorrow, planting in. We're gonna start working on probably the red beets and transplanting other stuff in. I haven't quite figured it out, but every day until it's done, we'll be putting something in. So thank you so much for watching. Keep watching and keep learning. Shoot me some questions if you have it. Again, every technique, adapt to your own climate and what you know about your area. Again, all this planting is for the north. So some things you can get away with more than I can here. So thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next video.